Pet adoption is a great life-saving thing to do, and it's a great way to get a new pet for yourself, your home, and your family. There are a lot of myths about pet adoption, but there are so many more benefits than myths, and a lot of people don't realize this. Homeless animals are no longer viewed as the public nuisance they once were in the past. They are not viewed as disposable, and people believe that they deserve the best care possible. People love their own pets, and they want to see homeless animals get the proper care and homes that they deserve. Animal shelters originally evolved from pounds. Pounds were used in colonial towns to round up wandering livestock that were later reclaimed for a fee. They were reclaimed very often because livestock was worth money back then, whereas dogs and cats were not worth that much. Therefore, when dogs and cats were rounded up and put into pounds, they were often simply killed. The first animal welfare organization in our country was the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, the ASPCA, which was founded in 1866. Their initial focus was on the mistreatment of horses, providing public safety, and protecting private property rights. In 1874, the women's branch of the ASPCA in Philadelphia became the first organization to focus on the humane treatment of animals that were in shelters. Things for homeless pets took off from there. However, until the late 1970s, the veterinary community had little to no say in how animal shelters were managed. The focus of many shelters revolved around humane deaths, and for the many animals that were not reclaimed or adopted. There are now thousands upon thousands of animal shelters and rescues in our country. There are open admission municipal shelters. There are private shelters who most often have official nonprofit status, and there are other rescue groups and sanctuaries. Adopting a companion animal has many benefits. For starters, when you adopt an animal, you're saving a life. Each year, about 6.5 million companion animals enter shelters nationwide. Out of this large number of animals, the very large number of 1.5 million of them are euthanized. When you adopt a pet, you're not only giving that animal from the shelter or rescue a new forever home, you make room for another life to be saved. So if you want to continue to put a big dent in the number of animals that are euthanized annually in our country, adopting is the way to go. Pet adoption is a very common and popular thing these days. Out of all the animals that enter shelters every year, 3.2 million of them are adopted out to loving homes and families. There's also the matter of money and expenses. Buying a pet can cost from $500 to $1,000 to even more. And guess what? That does not include most veterinary work. New bought pets are often not up to date on shots. They are not spayed and neutered. And they don't have all the veterinary work done that rescued animals do. Adoption fees for rescued animals, however, usually range from $50 to $200. That's obviously a huge difference in price, but it's called a fee for a reason. It recoups veterinary costs that shelters and rescues have already doled out for these animals. The vast majority of rescued animals are spayed and neutered before they are adopted out. Spaying and neutering alone costs hundreds of dollars at a vet's office. Rescued animals are also up to date on shots. They have had exams with the vet, they've been tested, and they are up to date on everything else they need to be up to date on before being adopted out. Today, many of them are even microchipped before they go into new homes. So with that, many people wonder, if I can get a pet for free or really cheap from someone I know or off of Craigslist or something like that, then why should I go adopt one and pay that fee? Well, again, we're talking about what the animal has had done veterinary-wise. Is the animal spayed or neutered? Is the animal up to date on shots and tested? Etc., etc. If not, this is not the bargain that you initially may think it is. A lot of people are hesitant on rescuing animals due to the myths out there about them and the process itself. One of these myths is that people think they don't know what they're getting if they adopt a pet, as opposed to buying one from a breeder or a store. However, this could not be further from the truth. Animals in shelters and rescue groups are taken care of by volunteers. This means that these people take care of these animals out of the goodness of their hearts and because they sincerely care about the welfare of these animals. These people do not profit in any way from what they do, and they do not profit in any way from the adoptions themselves. They get to know these animals and all about their personalities. They learn about each individual animal's temperament, their likes, their dislikes, how they are with other animals and children, and their unique interests and quirks. And as friendly and lovable as an animal in a shelter is, he or she only gets better when going into a forever loving home. Many rescued animals have actually spent time in homes as well. There are a lot of foster homes out there for animals in need. This means that they spend time in homes living normal pet lives with adults, with children, with other animals. So if more certainty is what you're looking for, what better way than to adopt an animal already living in a home environment? Part of the myth of not knowing what you're getting when you adopt an animal is that people wonder why these animals had to be rescued and or given up in the first place. And they're worried that these animals won't make good pets due to certain assumptions. What might surprise a lot of people is that the vast majority of pets that are surrendered to rescues and shelters are there due to nothing that has to do with their own behavior. One of the main reasons they are given up is that owners are moving and cannot take care of their animals. A lot of people actually get pets and then later get busted because their landlords don't allow it. A lot of people give up their pets because they realize they simply do not have the time to adequately care for them and give them all of the time and the love that they deserve. A lot of owners run into personal problems and also therefore don't believe they can adequately care for them as well. Money is also a huge reason pets are given up every day. With so many people struggling out there to keep themselves afloat, to afford the basic needs of living in today's society, it's no wonder that being able to afford a pet and the expenses that come with them is a problem for so many people. Some don't realize the cost of pet maintenance, and many people run into problems with money that they did not have before they adopted the pets. Sometimes pet owners don't realize that they actually have allergies to animals before they adopt them. Sometimes they don't realize they have inadequate facilities for the pets they adopt, and sometimes they already have too many animals in their household already, and it simply doesn't work out. However, either way, animals all have individual personalities. No two animals are the same. Some are quite active, and some are really lazy. Some are independent, and some really cling to their owners. Some crave the company of other animals, and some like to be spoiled and pampered all on their own. Some are quiet, and some are noisy. So matching up with a pet depends not just on that animal's disposition, but the individual human's personality and what he or she is looking for in a pet. So as we can see, adopting a pet has many advantages, not just for the animal, but for the human as well. So if you're thinking about adopting a pet, go for it. Spread the word. Your perfect match could be waiting for you at your closest shelter or animal rescue group.